Did you know 90% of Republicans quit the party right before Trump destroys the deep state and releases the Epstein files? Americans, your president, supreme leader, is the most disgusting person to ever lead a country. The whole administration is disgusting. From the global trade war to the constant anti-intellectual and anti-medicine, feelings-driven opinions.
But with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it.
To literally every other aspect of this administration, America is a global embarrassment currently. The whole Make America Great Again tagline and branding is the most ironic thing on the planet. Every business Trump has touched, other than hotels, goes to hell, just like he will. We know what you did on that island, you tubby orange ball. Whilst most Americans are sane, normal people who see through this administration's act and the far-right foundations aiding the administration, Trump has somehow built a cult of personality through years of lies and faking a strongman persona. I'm sorry, strongman? The guy just cries in Truth Social posts. That's like half of his public statements, acting like a heartbroken teenage girl who just heard Paramore for the first time. But this anti-intellectual brain parasite is clearly spreading and making a loud minority of people complete idiots. They literally voted all their rights away. America is in a seriously bad place currently, and most people are aware of it. But how can America be saved from the idiocracy that's driving its decline? Trump's first term was bad, but if we excuse the trade war with China he started because he was bored, and the 30,573 lies he told in his first term, which were tracked by Washington Post fact-checkers, nothing else happened. This was because he actually had professionals in his administration that stopped him from doing stupid stuff the second his feelings got hurt. His constant populist rhetoric managed to build a wall, creating the insane political divide that America has now, where both sides literally live in different realities. Trump is such a good negotiator. That's why he's achieved none of his campaign promises and cannot end any wars, and has also allowed the government to shut down not only today as of recording this, but also twice in his first term.
They say I'm the greatest negotiator that anyone's ever seen. My trades are the hottest around.
This shutdown is happening because the Republicans are proposing a federal spending plan that's estimated to cut 10 million people from Medicaid and increase health insurance for 20 million people. Weirdly, the Democrats aren't okay with stripping people's healthcare and were in Congress to solve this, whilst most Republicans were nowhere to be seen. Trump's admin is so disgusting, squeezing the poor for all they have to fund tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy. This guy's a billionaire who not only somehow managed to do the impossible and bankrupt 6 casinos and the companies that own them, but he also bankrupt a whole range of businesses, including his steak business, which only sold steaks out of a tech store called The Sharper Image. Bro, in what world is someone going to a tech store to buy a laptop or an anime mousepad or anything else and thinks steak would go hard with this? Those goods are the furthest things from compliments. How could a billionaire even think this would work? The art of the deal guy, the self-proclaimed negotiator.
I'm a negotiator. I've done very well over the years through negotiation. It's very important that we do that. In all fairness, Marco is not a negotiator.
The only thing bigger than Trump's ego is his disgusting freak veins in his blubbery, strangulated legs. You can't hide ankles that wide, Batty. Americans, I don't know how you put up with this. It's so draining hearing 100 news stories a day about how awful your leaders are. I would only be able to cope by crying into my pillow and listening to Everson. This video is about the current Republican Party and how they're acting purely for greed, but let's get Trump out the way first. And I know there will be comments saying shit like,
"You believe fake news, you woke moralist."
Bro, is Jordan Peterson on his alt account in my comments talking shit? So I'll link every single source for this video in the description. Fact check me please, lil bro. I want the truth to win, not just my views. You'll get your ankles snapped like little twigs. Trump is a racist predator. E. Jean Carroll vs. Trump was the 2022 case where E. Jean Carroll filed a lawsuit against Trump for his assault in Bergdorf department store in 1995. In a store, bro.
Well, sort of, that's what she said I did to her. She fainted with great emotion. She actually indicated that she loved it, okay? She loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, I believe that's what took place.
28 different women have also accused Trump of SA over the years. Given his history with Epstein and women, especially those still in school, we can safely assume what he did on that island is evil. Release the files. January 6th was an attempted coup that he helped incite through groups dedicated to him, like the Proud Boys, who had planted bombs outside the Capitol to use on January 6th. Trump reinforced the idea that the election was stolen and encouraged his supporters to be at a big protest at the Capitol the day the election results were supposed to be officiated. He also tried to rig the 2020 election with fake electors he paid to validate fake votes for him in certain regions. All of this is where his felony charges come from, but the Supreme Court overturned it so he avoided jail time as it was an official act as president. Trump also recently placed 100% tariffs on pharmaceuticals, then days later announced Trump RX, his new business providing Americans cheap pharmaceuticals. Sorry, are Trump and Putin having a who's more corrupt competition? Is that why they both met in Alaska? This is stuff you only see in Russia with oligarchs, but it's happening in America. The recent deranged rant about Tylenol causing autism is insanity. Completely false, baseless claims about medicine will always be destructive. Thank God it wasn't about vaccines at least.
But with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it.
Trump really flexed the speaking capabilities of a 7-year-old here too.
Nothing bad can happen, it can only good happen.
How can anyone actually believe this? No evidence presented from anyone with any qualifications, but purely because Supreme Leader said it, so now people will believe it. Insane. There's no other country where this could happen. It could only be America. I'm not gonna lie, there's a million more things, all of them would completely disqualify anyone else from ever being the leader of America. But the guy who hosted that reality TV show? He's funny, he gets a pass. Oh, the guy who was best friends with the world's most prolific child he gets a pass. I watched his show one time. This is actually how some Americans think. Trump and the Republicans have set a standard globally that lying in politics is completely okay and you can win elections through it.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Hence the rise in these types of politicians in different countries. The Roaring 20s? We got the Nazi 20s, bro. Far-right populism is appearing in so many places. An unimaginable tally of lies and propaganda littered by this man and the current administration is inconceivable and so clearly false, yet somehow MAGA, a group of tens of millions of actual adults, still believe every word that is said. In what world can this stuff happen? It shows something is deeply wrong with us. If these politicians can lie and cheat purely for personal gain at your expense, yes you, the Americans watching this video, yet people still vote for it. Make it make sense? Surely this has to be the outcome of failures in society. It speaks to education failures and a lack of care to be informed, despite politics affecting every aspect of your life. Or how social media has purely been used as a tool for greed. The media and political rhetoric has divided people for decades. It's just the past decade, the standards no longer exist for one side. Me personally, if I were an American, I would just leave society and go live off-grid in North Vermont. I want that Diogenes lifestyle. Republicans have verbally stoked the flames for such a long time, causing political violence to rise from their side, and they refuse to try and bring the temperature down. The president refuses to try and keep things civil and has been the main cause behind America's current environment. Studies collecting data on political violence shows the right is responsible for the majority of political violence in America. Multiple studies from institutions with varying political views also back this up, from center-left sources like ADL and Journal of Democracy, to center-right sources like CSIS and the Cato Institute. To nobody's surprise, the side that harbors some views built on ignorance, hatred, and fear perpetrates way more violence. It is undeniably clear the right wing is responsible for most political violence. To help you understand, here's a visual representation in Clash Royale. We all know what happened to Charlie Kirk. He got shot at his Turning Point USA event at Utah Valley University by Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old who lived in Washington, Utah. The right instantly, and I mean within 5 minutes of Kirk's death, purely tried to use it for political leverage, which is obviously disgusting to do. Completely unknown at the time, the right instantly began claiming the shooter was trans and leftist, with no public information being known. It's just team sports to them, and they try to shout the loudest. They also tried to transform Kirk into a martyr. Brother, he just debated college kids, most of the time in bad faith too, and also heavily contributed to the growing political divide in America. Come on, man, he said deplorable things before. He's not a hero.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, the death penalty takes too long, too many appeals. It should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder.
The guy wanted relaxed gun regulations, and his own views led to this, as Utah is very Republican and has relaxed gun laws.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
His memorial service was held at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, and was full of MAGA, and honestly, it looked quite familiar, a bit like someone else's rallies. But even his funeral was just used to further this administration's agenda. Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, cried directly after giving her speech, but Trump gave her the most predator hug of all time. Look at this guy's face, man. He's inhuman. His face has all his intentions, preying on his dead friend's widow. But we also got speeches from the rest of the Fourth Reich, Trump's admin, including people like Stephen Miller, who is the modern-day Joseph Goebbels, and also some MAGA propaganda influencers like Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Tucker Carlson, and others. It is so clearly being used purely as propaganda, which is sad, but is completely expected from these people. Some Republicard made a website called Charlie's Murderers, dedicated to tracking everyone who said anything disrespectful about Charlie Kirk's murder, and many of these people were fired from their jobs for the free speech that Republicans claim to love. So cancel culture is suddenly a good thing? The executive couch fucker himself, J.D. Vance, hosted an episode of Kirk's podcast after his death, and even told viewers to try and get those being disrespectful or making jokes about Kirk fired from their jobs.
So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer. And there was no civility in the celebration of political assassination.
The vice president is encouraging people to try and get others fired from their jobs over jokes. The party of free speech. Many far-right political leaders use Kirk's death to further radicalize their messaging. People like Viktor Orban, Alice Weidel, Fico, Kavalishvili, and other far-right leaders all immediately blamed the left or Islam. What the f*** has Islam got to do with it? The kid was from a conservative family in Utah and was whiter than the sun. Going back to the studies from earlier, how is this not enough to make people realize that their ideologies are built on lies? These people are clearly lying and purely trying to be as inflammatory and polarizing as possible. It's no coincidence all these actors all have similar messaging. Conservative think tanks are notorious for being negative to society. They are corporations made by businesses that research and strategize politically to benefit themselves. For Republicans, this means billionaires and owners of oil companies and tech companies are all involved in these think tanks. This is purely because they want to be as profitable as possible. Climate change denial was literally made by these right-wing think tanks to help oil companies' profits, which I hope helps put into perspective the moral compass of these right-wing think tanks. It doesn't exist. This is also exactly what's happening in Britain with Reform UK and their propaganda machine, GB News. It's funded by oil companies and Russia. You remember Project 2025? The thing Trump claimed to know nothing about?
Project 2025. I've never read it. I don't want to read it because that way I can be honest with you. I don't want to read it.
That was proposed by the Heritage Foundation, one of the most prolific conservative think tanks. Not only does Project 2025 seek to make America a Christian fascist country, but it also has some of the worst people working to destroy liberty in America and brainwash the population into wanting a fascist country. This is why I said before that I hate religion, because it's used as a guise for evil stuff. If there is a God, strike me down now. Slay me here. See, it's not real. A couple notable names include Kevin Roberts, the leader of the Heritage Foundation, who said some crazy stuff about having a second American Revolution.
We are in the process of the second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless, if the left allows it to be.
And E.J. Anthony, chief economist of the Heritage Foundation, who Trump nominated to be Commissioner of Labor Statistics, but Trump rescinded the nomination in September. This guy also has a picture of Hitler's favorite ship in his house. Brother, you're not slick. The dog whistles don't work anymore. A few things Project 2025 aims to do are remove abortion access, mass deportations without due process, centralize power to the president, destroy trans rights, and many other cartoonishly evil things that only characters like Dr. Doofenshmirtz would do. There's a site that tracks the progress of Project 2025, and they have implemented 48% of the policies they wanted to. 48% is insane. Like, most of these are the destruction of institutions or programs within the government, which will take years to restore. Things like eliminating the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, removing environmental protections for deforestation and oil drilling, destroying abortion rights, and destroying laws recognizing trans people's existence. And all of this so a handful of people can have tax cuts and give the illusion they're Christians. It's so disgusting. Also, why are right-wingers so terrified of trans people in particular? It's not hard to understand that people feel like they're born in the wrong body and want to belong. To help put into perspective how awful this admin is, here's all the people who are directly tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Trump, Alex Acosta, Howard Lutnick, Steve Bannon, Elon Musk. Bro, this is like the 5th update I've had to do for this video. Yeah, I'm also ill, so that's why I sound like I've just had Nickelodeon slime blasted into my nostrils like Katy Perry. Every day there's something new. How many more updates? Whilst editing this video, the Republicans' official youth wing, known as the Young Republicans, group chat leaked, and they're actual neo-Nazis. The messages aren't jokes. They're calling for the death of anyone who disagrees with them and are openly disgustingly hateful. Bro, they're talking about gas chambers. Remember, these people have direct connections to the actual Republican Party, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's the clearest sign that some of the Republican Party are actual Nazis. And you might think that these guys are just kids making edgy jokes like Chief Couch JD Vance tried to make out. No, they're all adults who are being serious and know exactly what they're saying. They're all between 18 to 40 years old, with the build of Augustus Gloop calling for ethnic cleansings of different races. What am I even supposed to say to this? Yeah, being a Nazi is bad. What else can I say? Look at some of these people, man. They're all the disgusting incel stereotype. Please, people watching this video, never be like these f***ing losers. They're the funniest, most pathetic people on the planet. Hi guys, another update. Not only did a Republican congressman have an American flag with a swastika behind him in a Zoom call, which they tried to deny as an optical illusion, but multiple Republican congressional offices had boxes of these flags delivered. It's not hate mail or trolls doing this when they have been caught displaying these flags. A chunk of Republicans are mental neo-Nazis. It's undeniable at this point. Do you know how mad I'd be if someone who looked like this ordered my deportation or death because they believe they're superior? The worst part about the rise of idiocracy in America is that other countries follow America. They kind of lead other countries and set a standard of what can happen in Western countries. So over the past decade, a bunch of politicians have just spawned in, spewing the same rhetoric and stealing from Trump's playbook of lying continually. And somehow, it works. Purely because a decent chunk of the population don't research anything to do with politics and just vote based on vibes or the TikToks they've watched while shitting. It's a stupid world, bro, and we have to suffer because of stupid people. Yeah, I've realized I pronounced stupid in 2 different ways, cry about it. I'm angry, I'm just angry. All of life's trying to rage bait me right now. I am one Blade album miss, or one poor video performance away from a generational crash out. How do you stop America's decline? Be an informed voter. Research from reputable sources about what is happening. It's quite easy. And if you want to try and use the excuse of, I don't know reputable sources, go on Wikipedia and read stuff. It's the best site ever made to find information about anything. But anyone can contribute to Wikipedia. It's regulated, cry about it. You have no excuse not to be educated to a point where you can competently vote. Okay? And this applies to anyone, not just Americans. Being informed is important regardless of where you live. What's stopping your country from having its own version of Trump? It's nothing. We have it in the UK with Nigel Farage, and clearly a lot of people here know absolutely nothing about politics and just blindly scapegoat migrants. But what happens next in America? Democrats will win the midterm elections, and if they don't, then truthfully, America deserves to win the Darwin Award. They deserve it if their population is that stupid to vote for the guy that has gutted funding for services meant to help the people. Honestly, bro, the gene pool is better off without people who continually walk into a wall and never figure out what's hurting them. I mean, the gene pool is already dire if you look at what states already voted for Trump. Okay, obviously I don't mean that, but it's funny and somewhat true, but not ethical. My American patriot Californian goat, Gavin Newsom, will carry the Democrats to a midterm win, and then things will get better, hopefully. Thank you for watching. I know you enjoyed this video, and I deserve your like and sub for the effort I put in. And because you enjoyed it, you should go watch my other videos too, as you will definitely enjoy them. Thank you.